You're going to pick up on this one.
Those wacky funsters at One Nation are at it again. And someone's got to write a sitcom about them, I reckon.
Kooky kids up north.
They've got to be hanging around a coffee shop or something like that. That'd be good. One Nation's in the paper. They had a story about, you know, the guys in Queensland, you know, the guys that are actually elected and what they've been up to. So in his parliamentary office high above Brisbane, One Nation MP Jeff Nuth is explaining why he prefers rural Aborigines to urban ones. For starters, he says, they don't use big words. Like xenophobia, presumably. You know, that just throws them for a six every time.
So what was his name?
Big words. Jeff Nuth.
Jeff Nuth.
Yeah,
Nuth.
As in Nuth. Yeah,
That's what I thought. He must have dropped the second Nuth.
As in knows nothing at all. Then later on he says, and boy, such a sharp and insightful, you know, incision into race relations I've never heard as this. They've tried to become white, he reasons, by adopting a flag and electric guitars and that. Hasn't Manawa Yunipingu suffered enough, I say? That thing gone for that. Frankly, there's more white guys I'd like to go for adopting electric guitars than Aboriginals.
Bon Jovi.
JBJ, are you listening? Cut it out. So, you know, One Nation, they've got my vote. They've won me over. No more Aboriginals with electric guitars. Next thing you know, they'll have those, you know, octagonal drums and the keyboard that you do go like that.
Instead of that plastic bin.
Exactly.
Down the corner of Russell Street.
On the corner of Russell Street. No fear.
So,
We don't want them plugging those things in. Good Lord.
good Lord. It'll lead to anarchy.
We want all our Aboriginals unplugged. That's what I'm voting for. Unplugged Aboriginals.
Unplugged Aboriginals.
Sick of them and their electricity.
That's right.
Sorry. Offended.
Whoa!
I don't know whether it's the actual, you know, the very English spirit when, you know, when the ship's going down, you sort of sing and say anyone for tennis. I really enjoy doing the hokey cokey in the shower, you know, sticking bits in and shaking them about. But I actually work for a company that has been taking calls during the gas crisis.
Oh, right, yes.
And there's been some very stupid questions, people saying things like, there was an electricity went out a couple of nights ago, and somebody rang in and said, I haven't got electricity, so does that mean I can turn on my gas now because I'm not using any electricity? And so the one rang in and he said, I haven't got a gas hot water system, so I'm only using it on my cooker. Can I turn my heating on instead? Because I'm only using one thing. So it's been pretty sad.
Did you say yes?
Well, no, I didn't say yes. No, I was quite abusive actually. I had to take it off air because and they've been ringing up to dob in their neighbour and saying, this is before you can turn it on, and saying, look, I'd like to dob in my neighbour. As I've dobbed in my neighbour, can I turn my gas back on? How many brownie points do you get?
Can you imagine? I mean, they have Operation Noah, you know, when they dob in a drug dealer, and like nobody ever rings, but you turn on your gas and that neighbour's down on you. Oh, hey.
You betcha.
Yeah.
they're cooking next door!
Theory about this, you know, this gas crisis thing. Okay, now, there's this woman, all right, Anathia Rise. When she was living in Auckland...
Is that like something that you do for operation?
Oh, you need an Anathia Rise. Quick, clear! Boom! Wow. But Anathia Rise, when she was living in Auckland, the main power cables failed and the city was plunged into darkness. She visited Sydney and the water was declared undrinkable. Since her move to Melbourne...
I'm sorry, Anathia, this is just... You've got to get out of Australia.
I'm sorry. Look, guys, we think you're nice. I think you're quite pretty and everything, but, you know, move to Tasmania, maybe go visit Queensland and see Pauline Hanson.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Like Tasmania doesn't already have enough problems.
Well, they're kind of out of the way and they're not next to Melbourne, and I want my hot showers back. I really want my hot
Like,
showers
she doesn't have enough problems. She's got no water, no electricity, no gas, and her name's Anathia.
Anathia. And look at the picture is fantastic. She's a lovely looking woman.
She's
actually.
going...
She's got this
which
kind
one
of...
do I hold it up to? Which
she's
camera?
got this kind of,
Camera two.
Oh, sorry,
yay.
but in Media Land, I'd call that a filler. She's
filler.
probably Janice Smith from Ron Turner, and they just had some spare space.
And look, she's doing a bit of... Oh, I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't me. Oh, no.
I'd like to start us with a picture clue, if I might.
Oh.
Here we are. This is Kim Beazley. You may have heard of him. He's the leader of the opposition. They're doing a guest spot on ER. He's playing the good Dr. Goodfellow, there he is, who has to tell Bill Hunter that his fish has died. So they were looking good, doing a good job there. I'm afraid your fish has died. Oh my God!
Are they hats, or is that real hair they're wearing?
They're hats, but the thing we weren't noticing before, this guy's actually wearing a beard mask. He's got a beard cover on, just in case.
He looks a lot like Jeff Harvey.
Because it's Jeff Harvey. It's before you appear on Carrie Ann. You have to be fumigated after appearing on Carrie Ann.
Yeah, it's Jeff Harvey, wrapped in plastic.
Actually, no, that's Beazley touring a Sydney dairy yesterday and saying, I'll have one of everything, thanks.
Nothing like a bit of cream on top of that. Well,
but can we also talk about four-wheel drives?
yes, let's do it.
Actually, Hannah, there were two big mistakes for both of the major parties, so maybe we should start with Beazley's first, which was the internet kerfuffle. If I can use the word kerfuffle.
Yes, that is a word. Can you spell that?
Well, I think in mixed company. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use the word kerfuffle.
You can use kerfuffle.
But there was the internet, the Liberal Party internet was hacked into, and I'm not naming names, Toby, but I'm looking at some. And
I thought it was Matthew Broderick.
but and things were changed. But it was revealed afterwards that one of Beazley's actual employees had sent an email out to people, which, and this is the bit where this charming old-fashioned touch starts off, comrades. Comrades, the Liberal Party candidates seem to have web pages set up for their campaigns. And he mentions here that they have the instructions on how to edit the pages online. And if you'd like, you can fiddle with their pages, save the changes, there's no site security at all. Not that you should do that, but if you wanted to. He's given you the email addresses. But all these isn't that funny, though, that he's now been sacked? Basically had to sack him and one of the others.
We saw the Commonwealth Games open last Friday night, and what a riveting opening ceremony it was.
We saw them open and open and open and open.
So much so that we saw Kieran Perkins yawn on national television, and no one even cared to report it.
Isn't it one of those events where the last person there wins the Tarago station wagon? It's like one of those things where, or they win the sign for. Actually, I have a picture. Kieran Perkins. Because Kieran Perkins is someone who deserves to be seen on television much, because you just don't see him much these days, do you?
No, that's true.
Look, he's not advertising anything. That's kind of rare. So there's Kieran. I was saying that the Commonwealth Games, it's like the Olympics with all the good countries taken out, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
So it's like we go, if America and Russia aren't there, we win a lot of medals.
But you can't be in the Commonwealth Games unless you've been conquered by England. That's the difference. You've been colonised by England.
And that's a mark of a good sporting nation, isn't it? Most
Yes.
good sporting nations can
We've
show.
conquered you before. We'll have these games. We'll pretend that you can win. That's fine.
Now, Lindsay, I believe you're actually flying out to Malaysia this
Oh,
week
I've been there, done that.
to participate in the dental dam throwing competition.
Well, no, in actual fact, it is not the dental dam toss. That is actually being usurped by the dental dam blow. And that's when we hold the dental dam over your mouth and see how big you can blow it out into the cosmos. It's very, very difficult. I've been smoking lots of cigarettes to get my mouth around it. That may be so bold.
It's a good point, though, actually, about the number of dumb sports that are currently being competed in internationally, because, like most normal sports, they've got some rationale in evolution or survival, like running, who can run the fastest away from the woolly mammoth or something, or, javelin, who can spear the woolly mammoth when you're sick of running from it. But, what evolutionary impulse created the need to, oh, look, there's a pterodactyl, quick, let's wave a ribbon tastefully around ourselves while doing somersaults. That'll scare it off, just...
I like the ball one. That one's always got me. They toss the ball up and it seems to stop in midair, and they run around the house, they dust, they do the dishes, and then they land back in that spot, and down comes the ball. I love that one. I just love it. And sometimes they do it between their legs, sorry, they go whoop like that. I like that one too.
I believe that sport evolved from a 21st party that went horribly.
let's go back to the dental dams, because you mentioned them. I just came to me the other day. Do you ever think that dental dams are just this huge joke that someone's played on the lesbian community? They go, oh, lesbians and safe sex. We've got that huge pile of dental dams we've never been able to shift before. Let's, and they're marketing the dental dam mountain in Denmark is getting smaller as lesbians.
You can buy licorice-flavoured ones.
Well, that's a good idea.
Your mouth doesn't come out black.
If I'm in the kind of situation where I require a dental dam, whether it tastes of licorice or not is my highest priority. That's number one. You know, you're really sweet, you've got a nice personality, but, you know, you don't taste of licorice.
And can I say the Commonwealth Games opening, it's not a real Games opening unless it's got the Weather Girl singing.
Well, I believe Jamie Lee Sky is performing in the closing ceremony.
The One Nation family, I see.
Family.
One Nation family.
Well, she's a mother to us.
She is
mother to us all.
Pauline Panston. It doesn't take long, does it, for the gay community to latch on to something that's terribly horrific and turn it into a parody, and there she is, Pauline Panston. And I just love it. I mean, have a look. And actually, my sister and I, Wanda, went shopping this morning and did our breakfast thing, and we were talking about how we think that's actually her own hair. You are a male walking around the streets of this fine country, and you actually have hair like Pauline Hanson.
Which is great because she appears to have borrowed Red Simon's face in that photograph. Who did you vote for? If it's not a rude question.
I voted for Cheryl, which was very, very difficult because I'm from Maui and her seat was in Queensland. So I think I might have mucked up the ballot paper, but I wanted my vote to count for her because, you know, she's like my mother. I see her of the mother of Australia, and I reckon that she should be the next Prime Minister. You know, because, you know, she's everything that, like, the Cheryls stand for.
But of course, Cheryl's in a spot of bother at the moment because they're still counting the votes. And at last count, she was only a literal handful of votes ahead. So the voting is still continuing for Cheryl. But speaking of liquor, you had something about liquor laws or something? Or
Well, I don't believe that none of you have heard of it. This is the biggest thing that happened to me all week, is finding out that we'll be able to buy beer from bookshops and hairdressers. Yeah.
Oh,
so you can just sort of say, well, look, you know, I'm just popping out the hairdresser, don't wait up, or...
So what if
down the offie.
But what happens if you don't go to bookshops or hairdressers? Like, how am I going to get my beer then?
Here, have that one back.
that's the best thing.
Thank you to John, Lindsay, Toby, Carolyn. Next week. Bye!
Next week, John will be replaced by a half kid.
I'm going to be all the